Alright, so I played with these three units on stream. Charlotte a bit less, but just on paper, I think it's kind of clear that she's just insane. Now, I want to talk about all three of them. I'm a bit sad with Jack, but the rest I think are pretty good. Now, let's start with the worst and then just slowly go to the best. Now, Jack actually seemed very good because of his skill page, but overall, he's mainly a whale unit that you kind of need to whale for him to be even usable, which kind of disgusts me that it's in that scenario. But let's talk about him. So, skill 1. Applies bleed, and then you have a 50% chance to apply a stun if there is a bleed active. So you would have to use the skill 1 twice to even have a chance to get that stun. I think the stun's pretty useless unless you're in PvE content, but it could be decent. I think if you run these two together, they could get a lot of stuns off in PvE. Now, skill 2 applies a new ability where each stack is going to be giving you buffs for the ultimate. Now, the description of the buff itself, letting the basically you're able to get up to 3 stacks, and depending on each stack, you're going to do an extra additional attack on the ultimate. Now, we're going to talk about that, but he applies pen level 2 and also accuracy level 2. Now, the ultimate, for each miss or wrong calculation, you're going to be doing an extra 80% additional attack, up to 240%, but it's not on one unit. If it was on one unit, I think this would be much better, but it's kind of calculated for, what's it called? It could be on anyone. It's random, the attacks. Now, you get a guaranteed stun, and we're going to talk about that last part in a bit, but I think this is horrible. I genuinely think that it's horrible because you can only get 1 stack through here, and you have to get him dupe 2 to even get 1 stack, but to get max dupes, you would have to max stacks of this attack. You would need to get him to dupe 5. Now, beyond that, you also need to use this move before you even use this to get the max stacks. Without max stacks, I'd say this is much worse. And if you don't use this turn 1, you're most likely not going to be able to get your stun off if there is a Rhodes on the team. If there's no Rhodes, then you could get it off whenever. But if there's a Rhodes, you would need to use it first turn, which I think kind of hinders him. Now, the base attack percentage is much lower, right? Level 4, 95%. Level 4 Kyoto, 225, right? You need to wail on him to even get a chance to really get high numbers with this, because you can't even use it that late into the fight most of the time, right? So it kind of sucks for that. So you would need to use this first, get your 1 stack, and it even at that point, it goes up to 175. But if it's distributed, it's not doing much damage, right? I don't believe it is. Now, what I really find kind of not the best or very scummy is that you need to max dupe him to even get a chance to use this last portion, where it does 500%. I'm not sure if it's attack or damage, but it does 500% more. I think it's attack. But I think it's only attack. So I think it only counts attack, but it scales 500% of your attack if you have 3 stacks or more. To get 3 stacks, you genuinely need to have a max duped. Skill page wise, it's amazing if you have him dupe 5. If you don't have him dupe 5, this unit is probably worthless. I'd say dupe 5, he's amazing because on the ult you get an extra 500% attack. But without that, I don't think it's worth it. His base damage is not crazy. You can't use the ult turn 1. You really need to use this turn 1. He has higher speed. He has 104, so he's like on the higher side because all DPSs usually have 103. But I personally am not a huge fan. I'm going to do more testing. I'm going to see how I like him, but I don't really like him. Let me just show you how exactly these additional attacks work, because it is random, right? These additional attacks are random. So we use this, right? We get a buff, which this does pretty good damage. Now the ult, it's going to do its like first attack. Okay, then it's going to do another attack on another unit, or it could be the same, but it's random, which I think is meh. I think it's meh, nothing crazy, because it's 80%. 80% is not that high. I'm just going to say it, right? I think together, if it all goes on 1, it can do decent damage, but overall, it's not crazy. I think if you had higher speed, the stun would be useful, but because of how this meta is, it's just very not amazing. Now, skill page wise, he could have been great if it wasn't like 3 stacks and you needed max dupes to get. Because when you're at dupe 1, you get 1 stack at the beginning of the turn, but when you're at max dupes, you get 2 stacks of that wrong calculation, and then this gives you the 3rd stack you need. So, well, I don't know. It's just, you can't even get max stacks in a game usually if you don't have it, if you don't have the dupe 5. So, I'll do more testing, but I just don't think you should summon 4 Jack or try to get him. Now, Fuego, actually amazing. He applies burn on this and double burn if you have the skill page on skill 2. The second burn's random, and he what is that? What is that middle one? I'm not really sure what that middle one is though. The middle one is remove barriers. So on the skill 2, it also does remove barrier single target. But what's crazy is AoE, remove barrier, and remove burn stacks. Remove barrier, AoE. All the barriers are gone. This is insane in some cases. Now that top part is basically he applies incapacitate on the enemies only for that attack, not forever. It's only his one attack, depending on how many burn stacks there are. So 1, 2, or 3. 1, 20%, 2, 75, and then 3, 2, 20%. So this could do a lot of damage. But the main part is definitely the remove barrier. It does seem to happen before you attack. But yes, so you attack after removing a barrier, which I think is crazy. And this unit actually does seem very good. I wish he got burn on his ult, but to me it's fine. Now, he does get increased damage depending on how many burns there are active. 5% and then up to 15% per burn at dupe 5. Now, he gets basically the Liched immortality to where when he falls under 30%, he stays alive, which kind of works well for him because his HP, I don't know what it is, but it just feels, yeah, it's lower. And something about him, he feels like he dies a lot quicker. But I could be tripping because he seems to have more defense, but it was not going well. Overall, very good. In terms of what he gets attack and magic attack, and then he gets crit. So, very nice. Now, I didn't really talk about it, but Jack, very weird. He gets defense. I don't know why he gets defense. Anyway, let's go to the main unit. Charlotte. Charlotte has the highest speed in the game next to William. You have to max dupe, obviously, but that's just how it is. 3-3, same speed. Now, what she does, she has double attacks that provide counterattacks. Her skill 1 provides it to the person with the highest attack. Skill or ultimate gives it to everyone. AoE. You have to get a level 5, but to me it makes sense that you would need to get a level 5 to get guaranteed counterattacks on everyone for one turn, but still. It's crazy. It's crazy. When they start releasing more AoE single targets, or skill 1s, AoE skill 1s, she's going to be insane. Absolutely insane. And then she also increases all attack up to 60% for 2 turns. AoE. So, like, she's going to be very good. Now, this, I forgot what this one does. I remember what the other one did, but I forgot what this one did. Let me see. So, this one is going to be, if everyone's blue, this is pretty crazy. You silence all enemies for 1 turn if all enemies are blue. I don't think it's going to be too useful in PvP right now. But if you're not using the wall for any reason, sure, but I don't think you should. Now, this one is basically going to be giving 1 skill point when she gets hit. And at max dupes, it's crazy. It increases the counterattack turn by 1, and it reduces her skill 2 turn, I think, by 1, from what I've been seeing. So she's going to be good. She gives AoE counter. I think she's going to be nice. I think she's still S tier. She's the best, but she's not like anything game-breaking. I think I'll have to use her more. But I think that she is going to be pretty fun. I'm going to enjoy her. I really do think I'm going to enjoy her. She, to me, is the best. Fuego, also, I think Fuego has contention. It's just that his speed is very low. 103 speed. Now we're starting to get... We have to get past 103 because 103 is just not enough now, right? So, it's looking good, though. Overall, like a decent season. Better than Season 3, but not amazing, right? At least these units are usable. Or, like, the DPSs are usable in terms of Fuego. But, yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think, but... didn't look too amazing, right? I would... so pissed with Jack because you really need to have him whaled for him to be useful, right? Which does suck. As for if you should summon, I don't really think so. I think you're safe to skip this season and either pick Fuego or Charlotte. Now, I'm going to go more in depth to that probably in another video, but not right now. I do think that they're really cool style-wise, but I think Jack was done dirty. There's no point in really summoning. The skill pages just aren't worth it. So I'd say that you're safe to not summon and just wait. See how good Despair Veto are. Despair Veto is. I'm gonna guess Guldari isn't anything crazy, but we'll have to see just this season. You could either pick Charlotte or Fuego, whichever one you rather more, and then that's basically all you'll need to do, you know.